Hello my darlings, I hope you're all doing very well. In today's video I'm doing another tattoo etiquette video on the same person that I did my previous one on, and that is Ariel Dejesus. Ariel is a tattoo artist of 11 plus years. There's different numbers on the internet, some say 11, some say 12, we're just gonna say 11 plus. Ariel owns her own tattoo studio called Blindfold Tattoos in Texas in America. She rose to fame on TikTok by doing blindfold tattoos where she gets her clients to come up with 3 items and then she creates steals artwork from the internet and then makes a tattoo based on these things, and then makes her clients wear blindfolds so they cannot see the whole tattoo process or the tattoo until the end of the session. She also creates glitter tattoos, which now, Ariel's viewers or followers are very polarizing. She has, her fan base who loves what she does, who loves Ariel, which, fair enough, whatever. And then the rest of the people are just watching her like it's a car crash. When you see a car crash or, a wreck or something, and you shouldn't look, but you keep looking because you're just like, oh my God, that's the other side of Ariel's fan base, because oh hell. In my first video about Ariel, I spoke about the fact that she is very unhygienic when it comes to tattooing. She allows her 11-year-old daughter to tattoo, and she left her 11-year-old daughter in her studio to tattoo while she went out to do something, which of course is we won't go there again. She has misgendered clients and then was incredibly rude about the whole situation instead of just, apologising. She admitted to rushing her tattoos as if, it was a flex or something. She's used the wrong jewellery for certain piercings. She copies artwork and tattoos and claims them as her own. She advised to using Dawn dish soap as a good way of cleaning your tattoos when they're fresh, and then tried to prove that it was okay by using something she found on the internet. This is a professional tattoo artist leaning on what she's found on the internet. And I think that might be about it. I don't know. There was a lot that was said in that video. If you haven't seen part 1, please go and watch it because you'll get a lot more context as to who this artist is. So I only made my first part just over a week ago, I think it was, and since then more stuff has happened, and maybe it is like beating a dead horse making another video about Ariel so quickly at least, but she is not stopping. She's not making any changes. She's not holding herself accountable for anything that she's done. She's not learning from the constant criticism myself and others have been given her, and authorities have not done anything about it. Ariel has said she has had health inspectors come out to her studio to inspect things because of complaints or whatever, and apparently it's all good. Like, with peace and love to you in America and Texas, what is going on? Because the stuff that Ariel does just would not fly here in the UK. This would have been shut down ages ago. So Ariel is actually aware of my previous video. So Chinchillada said, Ariel blocked me on my alt, LMAO. I got her with this about Lauren's video. I said, you should share it with your followers here, and she blocked me. Ariel said, I absolutely loved her video. I couldn't pay for a better advertisement. She thought my video was an advertisement. I retweeted Chinchillada's tweet and replied with, better advertisement, lol. Yes, I'm sure people who watch the video are just itching to go to you for infections. That's obviously aimed at Ariel, not Chinchilladas. Chinchilladas is a great tattoo artist who is very talented. So me making this part 2 isn't going to be an issue in any way for her. She's probably going to enjoy it and just see me as a hater, which, whatever. Or she's going to very much enjoy the advertisement that I am giving her right now. But I just want to make this really clear. This isn't some petty internet drama that we see on the daily basis, with like Lashgate and all of that. This isn't someone just putting on a pair of false eyelashes and then claiming that they haven't to advertise a mascara. It's so much deeper than that. What Ariel is doing can be incredibly dangerous. Ariel could potentially harm someone, whether it's physically, financially, or could possibly end someone's life, because tattoo infections can go that far. Sepsis leads to your organs failing and shutting down, and that leads to then death. You know, like, it's obviously very rare, but it can happen. And obviously, like I said, financially, America, peace and love, your healthcare is very, very expensive. And Ariel is very, you know, holier than thou. I'm a very good person. But her actions do not add up to that in any way, shape, or form. She takes this whole thing so incredibly lightly. Ariel is about getting as many tattoos done as possible in a day and as filming as much content as possible in a day. There is no care. There's so many corners cut when doing stuff like this. It's just dangerous. And I don't know how any health inspector or health professional cannot see the big red flag that is Ariel. And she also shows you what she wants you to see. And even that's a hot mess. So what could she be hiding? You know, what is the dark side of Ariel? I feel like there is so much more to Ariel that we don't even see. And we see a lot. It's terrifying if you think about it. So, what's happened since my last video that was only just over a week ago? Of course, we have Ariel thinking that my video was a great advert. So, an update on a clip that I featured in my previous tattoo etiquette video about Ariel. I featured a TikTok where someone said that Ariel touched a fresh tattoo with her bare hands. Ariel actually made a TikTok response to that TikTok. Here it is.
Did you just touch that woman's fresh tattoo with your bare hands? I'm gonna slow that clip down for you and see if y'all catch it. Okay, so let's see. You scoot your seat and touch your butt. No gloves. And then you reach over and touch this woman's tattoo with your bare hands.
I'm sorry, I did not touch this girl's fresh tattoo with my bare hands. I'm so sorry. That just made me LOL like everywhere. I first off want to start by saying I think that you're absolutely adorable. I love everything about your energy and oh my god. So I will answer your question since in all fairness, you did start off your video with did you? So I just want to clarify it for you in case you actually think that I touched this person's new tattoo with my hands with no gloves. That's disgusting. I would never do that. I would never. If you go back and you actually slow it down and take your own advice and really zoom in and look at what's going on. This woman came in, she only got one tattoo that day and it was by me. If you look closely and slow down the video, you will see that her arm is on an armrest. I wouldn't put her arm on an armrest if I was tattooing her sternum. Then the armrest is going to be in my way to tattoo her. Does that make sense? So no, I was tattooing her inner bicep that day. The stencil on her inner bicep was drying, I believe, in that video. And the tattoo on her sternum, I was just telling her how beautiful it was. And then I asked her, I said, how painful was that? You know what I mean? I don't know how old that tattoo was. It was, obviously, it was like, to me, it was like, had to have been a few years old. So I would never touch a fresh tattoo with my bare hands. That's not sanitary at all. I'm actually very sanitary when it comes to tattooing. The only thing that I guess a lot of people get upset about is me not wrapping my chair. But what you have to understand is, well, in the state of Texas, it is not required because we have to use material that is safe for medical grade wipe down between each client. That's why in the state of Texas, they don't require us to wrap our beds. And then second off, you know, I would go through so much saran wrap if I wrap my table every single time. I do so many tattoos in a day that would be just ridiculous and unnecessary. Completely unnecessary.
So this saran wrap thing, in the UK we call it cling film. It's so weird to me because every time I've been tattooed, everything has been wrapped within an inch of its life with cling film saran wrap. I've been tattooed in different countries also, and it's been the same there. I don't know. And even after that, and after the tattoo is done and the tattoo artist breaks down and takes off all the cling film, they still clean, you know, the furniture, the tattoo bed, the tattoo chair, the armrest, the station or whatever, even though it has been wrapped. Not wrapping stuff is just incredibly lazy to me. And she said that she would go through so much of it because obviously she tattoos multiple times a day, multiple different clients, you know, to get that content out and to make those beautiful tattoos. But every artist does. This is what clients pay for. They don't only pay for your time, your artwork. Well, not Ariel, because Ariel just traces things from the internet. But clients also pay for equipment, ink, and all the disposable supplies like cling film. It's all in the cost of the tattoo. And if that's too much for you, then maybe you should stop charging $100 for your damn tattoos. If you think it's all going to be too expensive, stop charging $100 for God's sake and charge for the stuff that is used. And use goddamn cling film. I don't know. Maybe it is the law in Texas where you don't have to use cling film, but for everyone's peace of mind, oh my God, just use it.
But that's why I have 0 violations. I had the health department come numerous of times and check us out, and we've had no health violations. Never in my history of tattooing have I ever had not one infection.
But like I mentioned in my previous video where I read out some reviews, you very much have had clients that have had infections. But it's fine, just deny it. Even the proof is there, but it's fine. Just deny it. Sweep it under the rug. You're very good at that. So on the 25th of February, I woke up and did my usual morning TikTok scroll, you know, to procrastinate getting out of bed because it's cold. You know, like I'm in my little cocoon. Leave me alone. I have a scroll. But to my disappointment, one of Ariel's videos popped up on my For You page, and it was of her doing a Wednesday Addams tattoo. Need I say anything? Do I need to utter a word? Okay, fine, I will. I'll do it for you, I will. First of all, she blatantly ripped off someone else's artwork with no permission whatsoever. Didn't ask the original creator, can I use this for a tattoo? No. On top of that, she butchered it beyond almost recognition. Let's have a look at the face. It literally looks like a potato. All right, it looks like a child's school project where you have to draw a face on a potato. This is the work of someone that has been tattooing for 11 plus years. Look at the face. Just look at it, okay? Justine Lucy, who is a tattoo artist, a professional, made this TikTok. And then the original artist of the Wednesday Addams art stitched that, being like, what the hell? I mentioned this in my previous tattoo etiquette video on Ariel. I'm just going to quickly mention it again. It's just a very bad thing within the art community, within the tattoo community, to take someone else's art with 0 permission and to claim it as your own, especially when you do it badly, and to not credit the original artist as well, and to gain financially from this, and also with social media interaction. This TikTok of the Wednesday Addams tattoo got over 500,000 views. And while it is because everyone is in disbelief of just how bad the tattoo is, you know, she had to turn the comments off, of course, and the amount of people seeing this art could really have helped the original artist, you know, with some exposure. People would probably want to see the original artist's work because I really liked the original art. I thought that was hella cool. But there was no way of knowing who this artist was, and thank God Justine did a TikTok on it, and then the original artist saw it, and then now we know who the original artist is, so we can go and give love to the original artist. I will leave links down below to any links I can find on this artist, just so we can all give this person some love, because they have been done dirty so bad by this situation. To witness some tattoo artists who should know way better gain off of your artwork, it's just not nice at all. As we know, this is not the first time and probably not the last time Ariel will do something like this, just because she's so dang lazy. There's this TikTok from Honey Nut Cheerios who has showed the work that Ariel has stolen from the internet. In retaliation to the backlash that Ariel got from doing this Wednesday Addams tattoo, she uploaded a TikTok sharing all of the portrait tattoos she has done in the past as a flex to prove that she is good. Okay, I'm just editing this, and do we see the lack of gloves there? Even though she said she would never touch a tattoo with no gloves. Interesting, that, isn't it? Ooh. And again, are you kidding me? She's got a dirty tissue paper in her hand and the stencil or the image that she has used to do this tattoo. And she's not wearing any gloves. What the actual hell? Are you, seriously? There is incriminating evidence everywhere. She leaves little crumbs everywhere. Oh my God. Why do most of them look like feet? Chinchilladers, who's been doing a great job of documenting what Ariel has been doing over on TikTok, and they themselves are a tattoo artist, so again, a professional. They uploaded a couple of TikToks recently discussing Ariel dragging her incredibly fluffy, textured jumper all up in new tattoos while doing the tattoos, and also a problematic autism tattoo that Ariel has done.
I remember last year Ariel was bragging about being besties with her local health department investigator, and that she would send them gift cards and gift baskets to his family. I'm pretty sure it's bribery, because there's no fucking way a sane person could look at like the mountains of evidence against this insane woman and be like, oh yeah, it's good. In the same moment that the screenshot was taken, she was telling her client that people make up stuff about her on the internet. And another thing, and in the same video, she has a bunch of comments telling her that the puzzle piece for the autism is very offensive, and it is, as an autistic person myself, that's really offensive. Don't fucking use it. And she's in there like fighting for her life in the comments. She's like, well, I've never had an autistic person tell me it's offensive. And literally everyone in the comments after that is telling her it's offensive. This woman does not care. Let's not mention her doubling down over her shitty ass stolen art over that Wednesday tattoo, and then her mental breakdown in the tub afterwards. Man, stop. I'm to investigate. Does Ariel know she's doing something wrong? The answer is yes, and here's proof. Saturday, Ariel does 3 tattoos in the same gross sweater. Ariel cross-contaminates by putting her sweater on all 3 of the tattoos. You can tell Ariel makes contact on the first and second tattoos, but doesn't upload the third tattoo until Sunday. In between Ariel's second and third Saturday tattoos, I upload a video about her nasty sweater dragging over the tattoos. So she caught wind that I made a video about it and tried to hide it in her next one. See, she got careless. She was wearing the same sweater in her third tattoo she did Saturday. See, her sleeves are still rolled down. She tried to be smart and skipped over the entire tattooing process, which she normally adds, and skipped right to the end. She got careless and left out a corner of her sweater still being rolled down in the same video. So yes, she knows she's doing wrong and is trying to hide it. Case closed.
Now, if you've watched me for a while, you'll know how I feel about tattooing and fluffy things. I've seen a lot of TikToks and YouTube videos over the years where people will just tattoo themselves on a towel, on a blanket that is incredibly fluffy and got lots of fibres and all of that. And it's always repulsed me because this material is not the cleanest. Even if you were to wash it on a 200-degree wash, everything clings to that material. As soon as it's out of the wash, you put it in your cupboard or put it on the floor or whatever, nastiness is gonna be clinging on to that material so dang much. Even if this jumper is incredibly clean, forget the fact that stuff could be clinging onto it for dear life. This type of material sheds so dang much. I have blankets like this, and you find little fluffy bits everywhere. Could you imagine these tiny little fibres getting trapped into an open wound, which is what a fresh tattoo is an open wound, of course. That's why you sometimes bleed. Having these tiny fibres in an open wound would just cause havoc and lead to infections and irritations. You don't want this, okay? You do not want to be tattooed by someone with fluff all over them, okay? So let's go back to the autism tattoo that Chinchillada's mentioned. This is the TikTok that Ariel uploaded.
Cool. I was just gonna ask you a few questions. Sure. Could you do me a favor? State your name, where you're from.
My name's Felicia Martinez. I'm from Fort Worth, Texas.
Okay. Do you remember the 3 subjects that you chose?
I chose Disney, animal, and autism.
Are you offended by puzzle pieces?
No.
Okay.
Why would you be offended by puzzle pieces?
Because people make stupid shit up on the internet. I know. So sensitive. So anytime I pick autism, they say you need to ask permission from them.
No, that's something.
Ready to see it? All right, check it out.
Oh my god. I love it.
Ain't that so cute?
As you can tell by Ariel's demeanour, she's very blasé and very much like, oh, the people on the internet, they're always offended. The autism puzzle piece was once used to represent autistic people, but later on had a very negative stigma with it. I'm going to read this article from alltogetherautism.org.nz. This is written by a journalist by the name of Paula Jessup, who herself has autism. Now, I just want to do a quick trigger warning. This might be a little bit upsetting to some people, as there is mentions of suicide, and it does have negative views of autism mentioned. I will put a timestamp up here somewhere for where you can skip to if you want to skip this part, which I totally understand. Your health and well-being is way more important to me, of course. I feel like it's important for me to share why, this puzzle piece tattoo is problematic, but yeah, I'm going to read it now. The puzzle piece as a symbol for autism was originally used by the National Autism Society in the UK in 1963. Time went by and it was used to represent autism by an organisation in America, Autism Speaks. Autism Speaks then went on to use the puzzle piece in very big autism awareness campaigns in America, leading to the puzzle piece being adopted as the symbol for autism. But the problem for many autistic people is that Autism Speaks campaigns were particularly negative and problematic to autistic people. Autism awareness campaigns historically have been modelled on campaigns to raise awareness of diseases, illnesses like cancer. Early autism awareness promotion was based on organisations and parents' belief that autism is a disease, a tragic and terrible one, as we know from people causing an absolute fuss with vaccinations and all of that, like, oh my gosh, what if my child has autism? And anyway, Autism Speaks was the biggest organisation to approach autism awareness from the perspective that autism is a disease requiring fixing, curing. Therefore, their campaigns were the most hurtful, upsetting and offensive to autistic people. In 2006, as part of Autism Speaks campaigning for autism awareness, the organisation ran a range of advertisements on television and created a short film about autism that featured the organisation's leader at the time talking about her desire to kill herself and her autistic daughter via driving off a bridge. She spoke about these urges in the film while her daughter was in the room and could hear what she was saying. Autistic people continue to be horrified. There was ever a time it was seemingly socially acceptable for people to discuss killing us while we listened. Another advertisement featured comments that autism ruined families and was almost a curse to families. Their campaigning held a lot of very negative ideas about autism that autistic people found very offensive and unfair. So due to this and a whole range of other issues with Autism Speaks, autistic people find the puzzle piece a reminder of an organisation that spent years running very public campaigns in America that framed autism as a tragic disease. To autistic people, the puzzle piece represents negativity about autism, not a positive perspective of autism. A second issue for autistic people is that the puzzle piece also represents viewing us as puzzling or a mystery, often terms used in the past referring to autism. For autistic people, this is problematic, as we don't wish to be viewed as akin to a puzzle that can't be worked out. Autistic people tend to use rainbow infinity symbol as connected to neurodiversity perspective. For autistic people, if they see an organisation or parents using the puzzle piece and they know the history of the puzzle piece, they assume an organisation does not consult with actual autistic people and may find that problematic. Or they may assume an organisation disregards their feelings towards the symbol and find that very disrespectful. Autistic people on the whole desire a shift in perspective of what autism awareness is about. For many years, adults have openly publicly discussed their desires for autism awareness to shift to an approach aimed at creating acceptance for us in society. Continuing to ignore our wishes to use symbols which may remind us of discrimination in society or that people sometimes do kill us because of our autism is disrespectful. Words and symbols might not seem to mean much, but they represent a perspective which increases discrimination against us in society. It's time to shift to autism awareness as well as throwing away symbols from an era gone by that was not kind to autistic people. So obviously that is a lot, and I, as a person who isn't autistic, probably shouldn't make any further comments on this because, you know, but I just want you to know that I hear you, and I obviously completely understand why anyone would find, you know, this puzzle piece and people getting these tattoos of this puzzle piece, you know, offensive or very problematic because of, you know, what I just read. And for Ariel to just be so blasé about the whole situation. There's this TikTok from Cannonball Gender where they discuss the TikTok that Ariel uploaded.
Offended by puzzle pieces? No. Okay.
Hi, Tattoos for Jesus. So I noticed that you're operating pretty close to me. In fact, you're tattooing out of my mom's hometown, which is really cool. I'm just wondering if you think that your Savior, Jesus Christ, again, I'm not an expert, I don't believe in Jesus, would appreciate you laughing at the idea of a marginalized community telling you what is and what isn't offensive to them. Because again, I'm not a Jesus expert, but I don't think Jesus was a big fan of mocking the disabled. Actually, autistic people are in your comments section telling you why we find the puzzle piece offensive, and you're ignoring us repeatedly. So don't make me drive down there.
The fact that there is people with autism saying, you know, this is problematic, trying to educate Ariel about the matter, and she's just like ignoring it, not taking it seriously in any way. It's just, she's in an industry where she has clients of all walks of life. As a tattoo artist, you need to be incredibly welcoming, inclusive, you know, take people's issues to heart and listen to people. I've been tattooed by many amazing tattoo artists that are so incredibly kind and inclusive and wouldn't dream of behaving like this ever. I don't understand. I don't get why Ariel is like this. Like, why are you like this? It takes 2 seconds to do a bit of research and to figure out why people don't like things, why people find it offensive. So back to Ariel's unhygienic ways. Again, Chinchilladas tweeted this. Someone DM'd me that Ariel just got served a lawsuit that took 4 months to actually serve because a client got sepsis and lost 2 fingers from one of her tattoos. I retweeted this with a sort of like shocked face or what have you. And then Chinchilladas replied, praying they're just lying because that poor woman, I have to look into it. It's all alleged. I then replied saying, I hope it's a lie too, but if not, I wouldn't be surprised at all. Of course, it's alleged. We don't know the actual truth, but the truth always comes out. Ariel uploaded this TikTok. The caption for this is, I collaged a bunch of videos together of me tattooing myself. When doing so, I realised there was a pattern that I only touch to myself when I am grieving or hurting inside. There are a lot of health code negligence in these videos because I was tattooing out of my house and I simply didn't give a shit. I was grieving, I was hurt. I really didn't care at the moment. Now, we are aware from my previous video that Ariel does tattoo in her home sometimes, which of course is something I do not agree with at all, especially from a professional. You should know better. No matter what the situation is, you should know better than to do this. Like, you're a professional of 11 plus years. It's the whole thing again of her going around saying, I tattoo for Jesus, I'm a very nice person, I'm, you know, a vessel for kindness. But putting content like this out there is not helpful. It does so much damage because there'll be people who don't know any better, see a professional tattoo artist doing what she does and think, oh, well, you know, she does it, so that means I can do it. You know, it just doesn't set a good example. And I know there's always this whole debate as to whether, you know, content creators are responsible for people's actions. This one's a tough one because it just could cause so much harm. Now, of course, she mentioned that this was because she was grieving, she was going through some things, she was hurting, and I get it. I understand grief like no other. You know, I witnessed my mum battle cancer on and off for 9 years, then she passed away. I don't have, you know, any other parents in my life. So I've been pretty much, you know, left alone since I was like 24, and just loads of other things that have gone on in my life. Like, I get it. Life is tough. Life is tough for everybody, no matter what. People have things go on in their life that sucks, okay? And I get that people deal with grief in so many ways, and, you know, who am I to judge how people deal with grief? Who is anyone to judge? But, and maybe Ariel tattooing herself is better than something else that she might do. I don't know. So yeah, okay. It's one thing to tattoo yourself in the privacy of your own home, but to then film it and then upload it for thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people to watch and see and maybe take inspiration from is not okay. The power a tattoo artist has is immense, especially for people who do not know any better. When I first started getting tattooed, I didn't know much about anything. Anything a tattoo artist told me, I would have taken as gospel because they're professional. So, you know, if I had someone telling me, oh, wash your fresh tattoos with Dawn dish soap, I would have done it because I don't know any better. And it's the same for this. You see a professional tattooing themselves to help with grief, you could be like, you know, as someone that doesn't know any better, doesn't know about cross-contamination, bloodborne pathogens, infections, could see this and be like, oh yeah, that looks like a good way of coping with things. It's one of those TikToks that should have just stayed in the drafts. Now, this may come as a shock to some people, but I fully believe that Ariel does deserve a full second chance. I like to see the good in people, and I truly do think Ariel deep down has a good heart and does want to create good in this terrible world, even though she is creating terrible stuff anyway. But, you know, like, I feel like she's just a bit misguided. And I feel like if she was to go through an apprenticeship again or have a professional tattoo artist that, you know, takes it seriously, was to look over everything she does and correct everything that she does, she could possibly be a great tattoo artist. You know, just more practice with artwork, stop stealing artwork, create your own, it's not that hard. You fell in love with tattooing for a reason, surely, and I hope that art is a piece of that. She needs to go through some health courses again with like cross-contamination and all of that. I fully believe she skipped steps here and there. She can deny it until she's blue in the face, but from what we've seen, I also believe that she needs to stop teaching her 11-year-old daughter to tattoo and stop leaving her in a studio with random strangers, because it's just not a good idea, whether it's legal or not. I don't know. Like, there were so many people debating as to whether what she's doing with her daughter is legal and what have you, but you just shouldn't do it, whether it's legal or not. I don't know. And Ariel also needs to rein in her opinions about sensitive topics and being so blasé about it. Honestly, like, she basically has to work on herself so dang much, okay? And maybe I'm being far too charitable by saying she deserves a second chance, but everybody deserves a second chance. It's very obvious that Ariel has been through a lot in her life. While that's not an excuse, sometimes we do need to give people kindness to help them. I don't know. Is this a lost cause? I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions on this. Do you think Ariel deserves a second chance? You know, should she get guidance from people that take this seriously? This whole situation is a lot. It truly is a lot. And since my first video, I wake up every morning and I'm like, oh God, what am I going to see on Twitter today about Ariel? I'm just scared because like she could potentially hurt someone. That's what I'm so worried about. You know, and it's not just physically at this point anymore with the potential tattoo infections, it's mentally as well. Her comments and the way she acts for certain subjects, you know, autism, transgender issues, that can really hurt someone mentally. To have someone be so dismissive over something that affects people daily. But yeah, I'm gonna just leave it here. Whether I ever do a part 3, I hope not. I really do hope not. I don't want her to create an absolute scene ever again. But I'm not gonna hold my breath because track record says, you know, she's probably going to be up to no good. She's probably up to no good right now as I film this. Oh God. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Thank you also for all the love on my previous video about this. My video got shared quite a bit and I appreciate you all so much. So yeah, thank you for watching and until my next video, bye.